If you are over 60 years old, I want you to take a deep breath and settle in for the next few minutes. What I am about to share with you could genuinely change how you think about the foods you eat every single day. You have spent decades making what you believed were smart, healthy choices. You have chosen fresh fruit over processed sweets. You have avoided fried foods when you could. You have cut back on sugar and salt, just like your doctor recommended. But here is something that might surprise you. Some of the foods sitting in your kitchen right now, foods that you trust completely to protect your heart, might actually be working against you. This is not meant to frighten you or make you worry unnecessarily. This is simply medical reality, based on over 30 years of treating older adults and watching how their bodies respond to different foods as they age. The truth is, our bodies change dramatically as we get older. What helped keep your heart healthy and strong at 40 or 50 years old may actually cause problems when you are 70 or 80. These changes happen quietly, often without any symptoms at all, and most seniors never see them coming until serious health issues begin to appear. Today, we are going to explore some common fruits and foods that may be quietly affecting your heart health in ways you never imagined. More importantly, we are going to talk about what you should be eating instead to truly nourish and protect your body after 60. By the time we finish our conversation, you will have the knowledge you need to make informed decisions about your nutrition that honor both your health and your enjoyment of food, understanding how your body changes after 60. Before we discuss specific foods, it is absolutely essential that you understand how your body processes nutrients differently now than it did when you were younger. After 60, several key changes occur in your body that affect how you handle food, medications, and nutrients. First, your liver begins to process medications and nutrients more slowly than it used to. Think of your liver as a factory that has been working non-stop for decades. It is still doing its job, but it takes more time to complete each task. This means that substances that once moved through your system quickly may now build up and stay in your body longer than they should. Second, your kidneys start to filter waste products less efficiently. Your kidneys are like the cleaning crew for your blood. After 60 years of faithful service, they cannot work quite as fast or as thoroughly as they once did. This means that things like potassium, sodium, and other minerals that your kidneys normally remove from your blood may start to accumulate to higher levels. Third, your pancreas may not produce insulin as effectively as it once did. Even if you do not have diabetes, your body may struggle more to handle sugar and keep your blood sugar levels stable. This makes you more sensitive to foods that cause rapid increases in blood sugar. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, your heart becomes much more sensitive to changes in blood pressure, fluid levels, and the balance of minerals in your blood. Your heart has been beating faithfully for over 60 years, and like any hard-working muscle, it needs more careful attention and gentler treatment as time goes on. These natural changes do not mean that you should fear food or drastically limit what you eat. What they mean is that you should approach nutrition with age-appropriate wisdom, understanding that your body has different needs now than it did when you were younger. 9 foods that may harm your aging heart. 1. Grapefruit, the hidden medication disruptor. Grapefruit seems like one of the most innocent fruits you could possibly eat. It is refreshing, tangy, packed with vitamin C, and many seniors enjoy it as a healthy way to start their morning. However, if you take any heart medications, this seemingly harmless fruit can actually be quite dangerous. Grapefruit contains special compounds called furanocoumarins that block certain liver enzymes. These enzymes are responsible for breaking down and processing many common medications, especially those used to treat heart conditions, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. When these enzymes are blocked, your medications cannot be processed properly, and they begin to build up to potentially toxic levels in your bloodstream. It is like trying to drain water through a pipe that has become clogged. The pressure builds up, and eventually, something has to give. Let me share a real example from my practice. I treated a 74-year-old gentleman who came to me complaining of severe dizziness, unusual fatigue, and muscle cramping. He was taking his heart medications exactly as prescribed, but something was clearly wrong. After careful investigation, we discovered that he had been drinking a large glass of fresh grapefruit juice every morning for months, believing it was helping his health. The grapefruit was preventing his liver from processing his cholesterol and blood pressure medications properly, causing them to build up to dangerous levels. Once we eliminated the grapefruit from his diet, his symptoms disappeared completely within 2 weeks. The medications most commonly affected by grapefruit include many blood pressure medications, cholesterol-lowering drugs, and blood thinners. If you take any prescription medications for your heart, please discuss grapefruit consumption with your doctor or pharmacist. Do not assume it is safe just because it is a natural fruit. Bananas. When potassium becomes your enemy. Bananas have long been promoted as heart-healthy foods because of their high potassium content. Potassium is indeed important for heart function, and many people have been told to eat bananas to help control their blood pressure. However, for seniors, especially those taking certain heart medications, bananas can become surprisingly dangerous. Here is what happens. As we age, our kidneys do not clear potassium from our blood as efficiently as they once did. At the same time, many common heart medications, including ACE inhibitors and certain diuretics, can cause potassium levels to rise even higher. When potassium becomes too high in your blood, it can disrupt your heart rhythm without any warning signs, potentially causing life-threatening irregular heartbeats. I will never forget a 76-year-old woman who collapsed while shopping at her local grocery store. She was rushed to the emergency room with a dangerous heart arrhythmia that could have been fatal. When we investigated, we discovered that she had been eating 3 large bananas every single day for months, believing they were helping control her blood pressure. Combined with her aging kidneys and her heart medications, this had created dangerously high potassium levels in her blood. Each medium banana contains approximately 450 milligrams of potassium. For seniors taking heart medications, this can quickly add up to too much. We worked with this patient to limit her banana intake to just 1 or 2 bananas per week, and we began monitoring her blood potassium levels regularly. Her heart rhythm returned to normal, and she has had no further problems. 3. Mangoes, the natural sugar bomb. Mangoes taste like nature's candy, and many seniors choose them as a healthy alternative to processed desserts. While mangoes do contain vitamins and fiber, they also have an extremely high sugar content that can be problematic for aging bodies. 1 medium mango contains over 45 grams of sugar. To put that in perspective, that is actually more sugar than you would find in a 12-ounce can of regular soda. For aging bodies with slower insulin responses and less efficient sugar processing, eating mangoes can create dangerous spikes in blood sugar levels. Even if you do not have diabetes, these sugar spikes can put tremendous stress on your cardiovascular system and contribute to inflammation throughout your body. I treated a 69-year-old military veteran who came to me with complaints of chest tightness and unusual fatigue that seemed to come and go throughout the day. He had recently decided to improve his diet by eliminating processed sweets and replacing them with what he thought were healthy alternatives. He was eating 2 large mangoes every day, sometimes 3. When we tested his blood sugar levels, we discovered they had risen to diabetic levels, and his heart was struggling to cope with the constant sugar overload. The sugar in mangoes, even though it occurs naturally in the fruit, causes the same inflammatory response in your blood vessels and the same stress on your cardiovascular system as processed sugar does. We helped this veteran reduce his mango intake to small portions just twice a week, and his symptoms improved dramatically. 4. Watermelon, the triple threat fruit. Watermelon seems like the perfect fruit for seniors, especially during hot summer months. It appears to be mostly water, it tastes refreshing, and it seems like a healthy way to stay hydrated. However, watermelon actually delivers what I call a triple threat to aging hearts. High sugar content, high potassium levels, and rapid fluid shifts that can overwhelm both aging hearts and kidneys. I remember treating an 81-year-old woman who developed swollen ankles and increasing shortness of breath during a particularly hot summer. She had been eating large bowls of watermelon twice a day, thinking she was doing something wonderful for her health and staying properly hydrated. Unfortunately, Her aging heart simply could not handle the sudden fluid and electrolyte changes that all that watermelon was causing, especially when combined with her blood pressure medications. 1 cup of watermelon contains over 170 milligrams of potassium and 9 grams of sugar. The problem is that seniors often eat much more than 1 cup at a time. A typical serving bowl might contain 3 or 4 cups, which means you could be getting nearly 700 milligrams of potassium and 36 grams of sugar in what feels like a light, healthy snack. 5. Dried fruits. Concentrated sugar in tiny packages. Dried fruits like raisins, dried cranberries, and dried apricots seem like perfectly healthy snacks. They are natural, they travel well, and they seem so much better for you than candy or cookies. However, dried fruits are essentially sugar that has been concentrated into tiny, easy-to-overeat packages. When fruit is dried, almost all of the water is removed, but all of the sugar remains packed into a much smaller space. A 1/4 cup of raisins, which is a very small handful, contains nearly 30 grams of sugar. That is almost as much sugar as you would find in a candy bar. The difference is that without the fiber and water content of fresh fruit to slow down absorption, this concentrated sugar hits your bloodstream like a tidal wave. I treated a 72-year-old man who suffered 2 minor strokes within a single year. He had been trying to eat healthier by snacking on what he thought were wholesome dried fruits throughout the day. He would eat handfuls of raisins, dried cranberries, and dried banana chips, thinking he was making smart choices. Unfortunately, his triglyceride levels and blood sugar levels had reached dangerous heights from what he believed were healthy treats. Even dried fruits labeled as having no sugar added still contain intensely concentrated natural sugars that can overwhelm aging metabolisms and stress cardiovascular systems. 6. Bottled fruit juice. Liquid sugar in disguise. Many seniors drink fruit juice, thinking they are getting the nutritional benefits of fruit in a convenient form. Unfortunately, fruit juice is essentially liquid sugar without any of the fiber that helps slow down sugar absorption. A 12-ounce glass of orange juice contains approximately 30 grams of sugar, which is equivalent to drinking a soda, but the sugar in fruit juice is often absorbed even faster because there is no fiber present to slow it down. I worked with a 79-year-old retired school principal who began experiencing dizziness and heart palpitations after she decided to replace her morning coffee with what she thought were healthier options. She started drinking large glasses of cranberry juice and orange juice twice a day. What she did not realize was that she was essentially drinking 5 to 6 teaspoons of liquid sugar twice daily, completely overwhelming her aging pancreas and putting tremendous stress on her heart. Her concerning symptoms disappeared completely when we eliminated the fruit juices from her diet and helped her return to eating small portions of whole fruits instead. 7. Pomegranate. The blood thinner risk. Pomegranate has been heavily promoted as a superfruit with powerful antioxidant properties, and many seniors have added pomegranate juice to their daily routine, hoping to improve their heart health. However, pomegranate can dangerously interact with blood-thinning medications that many seniors take to prevent strokes and heart attacks. Pomegranate contains compounds that can block the same liver enzymes that process blood-thinning medications. When these enzymes are blocked, blood thinners can build up to unsafe levels in your system, potentially causing dangerous bleeding problems. I treated a 77-year-old military veteran who began experiencing blood in his urine and severe dizziness after he started drinking pomegranate juice daily while taking prescribed blood thinners. His blood had become dangerously thin, creating serious risks for internal bleeding. We had to temporarily stop his blood-thinning medication and slowly restart it once the pomegranate effects had cleared from his system. If you take any blood-thinning medications, including warfarin, it is absolutely essential that you discuss pomegranate consumption with your doctor before adding it to your routine. 8. Canned fruits. Hidden sugar and sodium bombs. Canned fruits seem like a convenient and healthy option, especially when fresh fruits are expensive or out of season. However, most canned fruits are packed in heavy syrup that contains 20 grams of sugar or more per serving. Many canned fruits also contain hidden sodium that can raise blood pressure and cause dangerous fluid retention in seniors. I remember a 75-year-old woman who developed significant leg swelling and breathing problems after she began eating canned peaches every day as part of what she thought was a heart-healthy diet. The combination of excess sugar and hidden sodium was overwhelming her aging kidneys and putting tremendous stress on her heart. Her symptoms improved dramatically once we eliminated the canned fruits and replaced them with small portions of fresh alternatives. If you do choose to buy canned fruit occasionally, always look for options that are labeled as packed in water rather than syrup, and rinse the fruit thoroughly before eating to remove as much excess sugar and sodium as possible. 9. Overdoing. Even the good fruits. Perhaps most importantly, even fruits that are generally healthy can become harmful when eaten in excessive amounts. After 60, your body simply cannot handle large quantities of any food, even nutritious ones, the way it could when you were younger. I treated a 78-year-old man who developed dangerously high potassium levels and serious heart rhythm problems after he dramatically increased his intake of bananas, oranges, and leafy green vegetables following a heart attack. He was trying to do everything right for his health, but his good intentions nearly caused another cardiac emergency because he was eating far more of these healthy foods than his aging body could properly process. The key lesson here is that moderation becomes increasingly important as we age. Even the healthiest foods must be eaten thoughtfully and in appropriate portions after 60. What should you eat instead for heart health? The wonderful news is that you can absolutely still enjoy delicious, satisfying foods that truly support your heart health and overall well-being. The key is choosing foods that work with your aging body rather than against it. Cooked vegetables are generally much easier for aging digestive systems to handle than raw vegetables. Try gently steamed green beans, roasted carrots with a touch of olive oil, sautéed zucchini with herbs, or cooked tomatoes. These provide powerful antioxidants and important nutrients without overwhelming your system or causing digestive distress. Low-sugar fruits in small portions can still be part of your healthy eating plan. Fresh berries like blueberries or strawberries, thin slices of apple with the skin removed, or small portions of cantaloupe provide important vitamins and fiber without causing dangerous blood sugar spikes. Gentle proteins like baked fish, soft-boiled, or scrambled eggs, or small portions of tender chicken provide the building blocks your heart muscle needs without putting excessive strain on your kidneys. Whole grains in moderation, such as oatmeal, brown rice, or whole grain bread, can provide steady energy without causing the rapid blood sugar changes that stress your cardiovascular system. Healthy fats from sources like olive oil, small amounts of avocado, or a few nuts can actually support heart function when used sparingly and as part of balanced meals. Plain water or gentle herbal teas will keep you properly hydrated without the added sugars, sodium, or artificial ingredients found in many beverages marketed to seniors. Building sustainable heart-healthy habits. The most important thing to remember is that successful nutrition after 60 is about consistency rather than intensity. Your aging heart needs gentle, steady nourishment, not dramatic dietary changes or extreme restrictions that are impossible to maintain. Focus on cooking vegetables until they are tender and easy to digest. When you do eat fruits, try to have them as part of a meal rather than on an empty stomach, as this helps slow sugar absorption. Keep all portions moderate and listen to your body's signals about what makes you feel energetic versus what makes you feel tired or unwell. Pay attention to how different foods affect you personally. If you notice that you feel tired, dizzy, or experience a regular heartbeat after eating certain foods, this is your body giving you important information that you should discuss with your healthcare provider. Stay properly hydrated with plain water rather than fruit juices or sports drinks. Work closely with your healthcare team to understand exactly how different foods might interact with any medications you take. Most importantly, remember that good nutrition after 60 is about finding balance, not achieving perfection. Your heart has been your faithful companion through decades of life's joys, challenges, sorrows, and celebrations. It has carried you through raising children, building careers, weathering losses, and celebrating victories. Now, more than ever, it deserves your most thoughtful care and protection. This does not mean giving up the pleasure and social connection that food brings to your life. It does not mean living in fear or constantly worrying about every bite you take. What it means is making informed, loving choices that honor both your body's current needs and your desire to remain healthy, independent, and fully engaged with life. Every single meal you eat is an opportunity to show your heart the respect and care it has earned. Choose foods that work with your aging body rather than against it. Listen to what your body tells you about how different foods make you feel. Work with healthcare providers who understand the unique nutritional needs of seniors. Your heart has been faithful to you for over 60 years. Now it is time for you to be equally faithful to your heart. Take the insights we have discussed today, talk them over with your doctor or pharmacist, and use them to create an eating plan that truly supports your health journey in the years ahead. Your heart and your future self will thank you for the thoughtful care and attention you choose to give today. You have many wonderful years ahead of you, and the food choices you make now will help ensure that those years are as healthy, vibrant, and fulfilling as possible. Remember, you are not just eating for today. You are nourishing the person you want to be tomorrow, next month, and next year. That is a beautiful and powerful responsibility, and you are absolutely capable of handling it with wisdom, grace, and success.